Good morning.
G'day.
Caught you jamming.
Well, I was.
It looks good.
Well,
You
I
should
tried.
have a guitar in your hand. Hey, good morning,
Uh,
everybody. My name is Jimmy. I'm your astute tourist. Welcome to our Hump Day Extravaganza. That's how I titled it today. Woohoo! I need some confetti poppers and fireworks.
yep.
But as you can see, it's Hump Day. It's our turn to host, and our good friend Sean from the Down Under Cruisers is in with us today. Good morning and good day to you, sir.
G'day, g'day. How we going, folks? Nice to see you.
We got four in the chat right now. Let's see. Destination Delight is here, and Michael Ann is here. Hi, Michael Ann. I'll be listening if I can stay awake. Okay. Well, good. Glad
Trust
to
me,
have
you
you
can
here
stay
with
away.
us. It is Hump Day. I figured
It
I'd
is.
start us off with the camel. Start us off with the camel today because
You,
he's a good friend of mine. So
you know, we've got a place here called the Thirsty Camel.
it sounds like a bar.
It is. It's a bottle shop.
Oh,
G'day,
nice.
Nick.
Hey, bidet to you. How are you, Nick? Good to see you. Thanks for dropping by this morning. So, how's things in your neck of the woods, as they say?
Wow. Exciting stuff happening as of the 17th of this month. So that's next week, pretty much.
Yeah.
10 days from today, we have the first ship coming into Melbourne, the
Oh,
Coral
excellent.
Princess. So
Excellent.
back in business.
Yeah, finally, right? It's a long time coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Colleen and I were reading a lot of the restrictions that they had up on some of the cruise lines, and they're slowly loosening the strings on those, which is good. So
Hmm.
hopefully we'll be back to some normalcy sometime sometime in the near future. I hope to
Yep.
be. But that's exciting for you. The cruise ships are going to start coming in, which is big news because we've had them here for probably I don't know almost a year now. Anyway, they've been running. I mean, in
Yep.
Florida, the governor really didn't want them to close at all. So we've been lucky, but with some restrictions, of course. But here's a big
Thank
applause
you.
for
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So, how's everything going? How was work today? You had a good day working, or
Well, today was okay. We did some courses today. We've been doing courses all week and busy getting ourselves sorted so that we can wind down in 3 weeks to get on a plane and head over there.
right? I wanted to ask you about the EMS courses that you instruct. Do
Hmm.
you? I imagine that folks that get certified in Australia, they need to recertify every so many years, maybe.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
So standard CPR needs to be recertified every 12 months. Then first aid needs to be recertified every 3 years, and the paramedics go through a recertification every 3 to 5 years anyway.
Okay. So we do something similar here. I know for most of us in the full time fire service, it's every two, regardless of
Mhm.
what certification level you're at. So CPR, EMT basic, all the way up to paramedic is every 2 years. So I'm actually, I need to recertify by March of 23. So I'm
Well,
actually
you're
going,
not coming down to the meetup, so therefore I can't certify you.
right? I know. I feel bad about that. I could get it done early, but yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to make it. Uh, but I know that you folks are getting pretty excited. What are we? Are we below the 40-day mark now, right?
We are in both cases 21 days to the flight, 37 days to the cruise.
Yeah, how exciting! I'm very excited for you guys. You're going to have a great time. I was talking in my live last night about how how much I want to meet everybody, and if I could make it to the meetup, I mean, obviously that would be a good opportunity. But we'll get our chance. We'll definitely
Yep.
get our chance. Nick says working 143 days till I fly from Minneapolis to Atlanta, and Atlanta to Munich, Germany. Since it will be winter, I'm definitely going to make my international connection in the south. Right on, going to Germany. That's awesome. Hey Jonesy, how are you?
G'day,
Good evening,
Jonesy. How you going,
sir.
buddy?
I just saw you this morning, which would have been last night for me.
Man, he had the most amazing picture last night. He did a video of what he wakes up to in the morning,
Is
the
that the
sunrise.
is that the picture of the ocean right outside his door?
Yep.
I'll have to look for that. I saw pictures or videos of where he lives, and the what a beautiful place where he lives. Very picturesque. Um,
Tassie is awesome. I caught up with him also on the weekend. He
very
had a great life going there.
sunrise, yeah. 11 days in Germany, Nick says, and 24 in Ireland. Wow, awesome. Good for you. Those are definitely bucket lists for me. Is to go to the UK, visit Europe, go to Germany, go to Italy, go to Greece, of course. Um, Colleen is Irish, so she wants to go to. I think it's the county of Cork or Cork County in Ireland. That's
Yep.
where her namesake and her relatives are from. So someday we'll get there. We got to work. We have to work and make the greenbacks first, so then we
I
can.
know the feeling.
Yeah, so then
G'day,
we can.
squirrels.
Hi Shirley, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Travel Adventures with Eric B is here. Hey Eric, how
Eric.
you doing, friend? It's good to see you. Thanks
G'day,
for coming.
Eric.
Glad that you could make it in with us today. As you can see, it's Hump Day with special guest or Hump Day Extravaganza. That's what I called it. So,
I would go with the extravaganza rather than special guest.
that's right. Um, and as you know, if you've been following, Sean and myself have been flip flopping Wednesdays. So this is our Wednesday to have Sean as a guest on our guest host on our show, and we'll be back up next week with him up until he leaves and comes to the U.S. and then on his cruise. So, and then I'll be on my own for a couple weeks. So, but hopefully we'll get plenty of updates and that when you folks are traveling. So I can't wait for that.
Absolutely. I mean, I got to get up at 6 a.m. to get on my own show.
Yeah, you're gonna be EST, my friend. EST, just like me.
Uh, it is what it is.
Well, that's why. So I was doing 4 days at 6 a.m. That's why I kind of mixed it up now. And every other day I'm on at night, so I can give myself a little bit of a break. Um, I was telling the story that I started doing these live streams last fall, maybe, or early winter. I was taking Molly for a walk, and I was like, well, we're on this walk. I might as well just start live streaming the walk because I've seen people do that. I'm like, I don't know if anybody will come in, whatever. Well, it's turned into this now. So with the two dogs, it's hard for me to stream and walk at the same time. So we're inside, and it started at 6:20 a.m. Now I'm starting at 6 a.m. I'm not going any further back in time. 6 a.m. is the limit. That's where I'll start. I won't go any further behind. So unless I pull an all nighter. How's your wife doing?
Ilana's doing awesome. She's just chilling out. She works pretty hard during the week, so week time I don't ask her to come up on board, but she's doing amazing things, and she needs the time out. Getting excited, we're starting to plan. We pick up our tickets on Friday week for the plane, and then we'll see what happens.
Oh, I'm very excited for all of you.
We've got our
And this
monopoly
again,
money, the US dollars.
yeah, yeah. It's not quite worth as much as your dollar, is it?
Yours is worth way more than ours.
Oh, is it? Okay. I thought it flip flopped and went the other way, but um, I hope it stays the way it is right now. Not because yours is worth less, but I just want ours to stay where it is now for just because the economy is a little backwards. But so you've had your Ziploc pack for many days now, right?
Yep. And she won't give me another one.
I don't know what kind of message she's sending there. Maybe she just wants to show off her man to all the ladies on the cruise.
She was telling me of another activity she wants to play, and I'm thinking, well, okay, we'll wait and see.
That's cute. Um, I let's see, who do we still have here? Okay, so we're just trying to catch up. Oh, Matt is here. The history can. Yesterday I was the fisherman tourist. Today I'm the construction tourist. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hey, Matt, how are you, my friend? Matt, we appreciate it. You must be on the road. You've probably been on the road for an hour now, right, Matt? Matt gets up earlier than I do, and he's usually travels to different construction sites to do his job. So, good morning to you. The euro and the U.S. dollar are trading evenly lately in value. Hope it stays that way. Yes, Nick, I agree with you, sir. Um, so he's picking up, driving all over North Carolina to pick up concrete samples, and that's what he does.
Now,
He gets concrete samples and tests them, I believe.
man, they're not used as shoes, are they?
Concrete shoes,
Yeah.
maybe. Maybe he's taking some people on a boat tour with some concrete galoshes.
You're going to give them
That
an
could
offer
be.
they
I don't
can't
want to know.
refuse.
Right? Sounds like a. I was going to say it sounds like an episode of The Sopranos. Are you familiar with The
Yep.
Sopranos?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds like 30 minutes. I got to sleep in. Too much rain this week. Yeah, we've had the rain too. It's actually well, it's overcast. I saw the stars when I got up this morning, but we've had a couple days of rain, which actually I'm not complaining because we've had a drought here in New Hampshire for about 2 months. Um, a lot of the waterways are low, and they use them as drinking water. So it's good to get a little bit of water, and for the
Yeah.
lawns and the plants. Everybody's vegetable gardens here haven't been doing well, and it's because of the water. I mean, we've been watering them, but it's been so hot.
Yep.
It, we've had 90 plus days. I think they said for 7 weeks it was middle 80s to middle 90s for 7 weeks,
Wow.
which is unusual for us. Um, but it's summer and it's spring for you. How are the days there? Are
It
they
is
starting to
spring.
get warmer?
Well, today was a great day. It was 20 degrees, 60 F, 20 C.
Right
So
on.
that's not a
By
bad
the
day.
time you get back from by the time you get back from your holiday, I bet the days will be really just you'll be rolling right into spring by the time you get home. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Well, it shouldn't take that long before we start to get good weather, and we're coming into grand final weekend fairly shortly for the football, and then the Melbourne racing that starts in November. So
Is that auto
it's
racing?
no horse racing.
Oh, horse racing. Okay, sure. Nick says, let's see, or I'm backing up. Got a few I need to make some for. Backlash is saying. Nick
Yeah,
says the
the
U.S. dollar is
concrete.
equivalent to $1.46 Australian. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
there you
Nick, you
go.
didn't
You'll be
have to
making.
remind me, mate.
Yeah, but you'll be making some money when you come here. So.
No, we won't because I've got to spend more to convert it to US dollars.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it's the other way. So that's a sad rate for us. 12 Celsius here with a -2 wind chill. Oh, damn, that's cold.
Hmm.
That's chilly today, Jonesy. We're probably going to be close to 70 F, which would be what, about 40, 35 Celsius.
70 less 30
Am I converting?
is 40 is 20. So it's about 20 something. You take
Yeah,
the
so it's
Fahrenheit, you
it's
take off
it's
30 and then you divide it by 2.
okay. Well, okay. Yeah, so it's been cool, but we're starting to roll into fall here. All the
Hmm.
gardens, it's harvest time. We have a lot of apple orchards here in the area that I live in, and all they're starting to harvest all the apples and the peaches and things, and that's always the signal for fall. The
Hmm.
pumpkins are turning orange, and I'm not a big fan of this time of year just because I know that winter is on its way. Um, I need to
Well,
find a.
listen,
I need to.
what goes around comes around, right? You
That's right,
were getting
brother.
all smart about that lovely hot weather. Now give us some, please.
Right. Well, look. Hey, it is what it is. There is a season turn. Right. So
Yep, that's it.
everybody gets their turn, and it's definitely our turn. I make the best of it. The holidays are a fun time. It's a good time to be with friends and family. Um, and there's a lot of good cooking that happens, especially when you're kind of shut in the house, all the windows closed and the doors closed. The aromas and the smells of everything cooking is fantastic. So, hey,
Absolutely.
Paul, how are you? Paul S. Vine is in the house.
G'day,
Good
Paul.
morning to you, sir. Nick says, I'm slowly getting stuff together for flying in 4 months. Not too quickly, of course, since it's still ways out. Taking my time, so it's just grab and go January 19th. Perfect. Yeah, that's exciting. I don't have any real travels on the horizon. I've been talking about Colorado, and we're probably going to do that. I just haven't pulled the trigger on any airfare yet. We've just been waiting. Um, the prices of airfare is ridiculous.
Don't tell me about it.
Let's see. Right? Yeah, I can't imagine what it costs to fly from Australia to the U.S. and back.
$5,700 this time.
Yikes. Yeah, that's a lot. No wonder you've been working so much.
Yup.
Nick says he's
G'day,
not looking
Najuma.
forward to says I'm not looking forward to winter, but I'm hopeful I will see the northern lights during my time in Europe. And you may um, come to New Hampshire. You'll see them here.
Wow.
Hope Bus is in the house. How are you?
G'day,
Yeah, we
Hot
get the
Bus.
northern lights here in the winter times. Sometimes in the summer, you'll see them as well. Hi, Najuma. Thanks for coming in on this early morning.
Hey, Najuma, are
Yeah,
you getting
so
excited?
I bet she is. Um, are you all packed, Najuma? You've got everything packed and ready to go? Oh, I just want to give a shout out to John and Nancy at J&N Travels. I have their coffee mug right here.
Is he in?
I don't think so. I bet
Too early
John's
to check.
probably working. So he works overnight. So he could be working right now.
He
I know
pretends
that
to
he's
work because he's supposed to
well,
be
yeah,
retired.
yeah. And him and I had that talk. He retired, but of course, in order to support his
Cruising
cruising
habit.
habit, he needs to yeah I was going to say crack habit, but that wouldn't be fair. His cruising habit, he needs to work to make the money, of course, just like we all do. So um,
So hope
so
us our flights just to go to the US and do the cruise is $5,700.
can you imagine? It's so much money, but it'll be worth it. I mean, you've never been to the U.S., so
No.
you're You're gonna love it. At least you're gonna get to see Florida. It's like we talked
Yep.
about. You won't be able to do too much traveling in the U.S., but Florida is a lovely state. It's very tropical here. I'm sure it may remind you of parts of Australia. Um, Lots of palm trees, banana palms, and coconut trees and stuff. It's nice. I hope to move there someday.
To
Um,
Florida or to Australia?
Either one. I'll take either one.
Uh,
Can you put a tent up in your yard? I'll come live in the tent.
sure.
I'll help teach EMS with your business.
Welcome aboard. I could do with more trainers.
I bet. I bet you can. It's hard to find help right now. Is it the same in Australia? Especially
Ugh.
in the service industry here in the US, they're begging for people. They can't get anyone. I mean, we have restaurants here closing early and they're closing on full days. Like, they used to be open on Sundays. Now they're closing because they can't get enough help.
Yeah, we are struggling to get people to come on board that actually want to work. You know,
It
most
where did
they're got this. Go on.
where did everyone go?
Home, home,
Yeah,
and the
Colleen said the
governments have
same
made it.
thing.
Yeah, and the governments have made it just that much easier for people to stay at home. You cannot get them out.
It's awful. And guess
It
who's
is.
paying for
Yeah, well, those of us that are working.
it? Yeah. Well, hey, look, I had a couple dependents up until about 20, for about 20 years. So what the heck? I might as well have some that I don't even know, right?
Yep,
Yay.
yep, that's right.
Yay!
All right.
Fantastic. Somebody else's kid now. Yeah, it's crazy. And they started, not to get too political and into some of the bad news, but they've done the tuition forgiveness thing here. And
Mm.
so those of us who paid for college and have paid off our debts for our kids and ourselves, now we have to pay for other people too. So
So
horrible.
funny. We should go down this path because I was watching a documentary a little earlier on why airlines are having such issues, and one of the discussion was why not bring back the likes of the jumbo jet and the 380 and just put more people on, less flights, but more people on, and then comes the statement: pilots are meant to retire at age 65. All right. So when the pandemic hit, all those that were close to 65 retired. So
Yeah.
there they go. They're retired. Now you've got not enough pilots. Takes a good couple of years to get a pilot up to scratch so that he can fly a commercial aircraft. So now we're in catch 22 position. We need more
Right.
pilots. Don't have
Yeah.
enough of them. Can't train them fast
And we
enough.
and we have the shortage here as well. And
Yep.
recently here in the US, they've been canceling and delaying flights because the pilots are on strike. So it just doesn't end. Yeah, I hope us. Jimmy, don't get me started, right? I hear you. I didn't want to bring it up. I had to though. It's been kind of biting at my heels. So, but we won't talk about it anymore. We're all in the same boat and we
Correct.
just need to suck it up and just move along. I was
Yep.
I was briefly talking about the 70s. And Sean, I don't know if you were born yet in the 70s or not, but
I was born in 61.
I I remember the gas shortages in that in the 70s coming out of the Vietnam War, and the economy was awful. There wasn't any gas, never mind the gas prices going through the ceiling. So look, we've done it before, we can do it again. So
And the funny thing is, during the 70s, I was living in South Africa at the time, and that was really interesting because there were sanctions put on South Africa because of apartheid,
yeah,
and then fuel prices were going through the roof around the world, and South Africa was starting to go through the concept of making fuel out of coal.
Oh, wow.
So there's a place in South Africa called Sasolburg, and that's where they made fuel, petrol, gasoline out of coal. So we were using that as well as your standard fuel out there.
Yeah.
We're screaming fortune. South Africa right now is paying somewhere in the vicinity of 27 Rand a litre. 27 Rand a litre, multiply that by four, you're looking, even if you just talk about the litre, forget about the gallon. At 27 Rand, that's like huge.
It's expensive. It's
Yep,
crazy. I could see people getting bicycles and they're going to have to walk everywhere.
yep.
Jonesy, Jonesy, I've got a big backyard, plenty of tent room with views. Okay, it'd
There's
be
only
awful
one
cold.
small problem with Jonesy's place.
What's that?
It is Tasmania, and in winter it does get cold.
Yeah, yeah.
On the other hand, they don't call it the Apple Isle for nothing.
I'll have to summer there. I'll summer there and
It's
winter
beautiful.
here. So in other words, when it's summer there and then the winter comes, it'll be summer here.
Correct.
Yep,
Just chase the summer. It's
that's
an
it.
expensive way to chase the summer, though.
At $5,700 of plane flight, yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Um, Eric says he still owes 20 grand in student loans, still years later, so no complaints. Yeah, I get you. You're gonna probably, are they gonna forgive yours, Eric? Will they forgive your loans? I have myself. I still have about $3,000, so I'm not doing bad, and I don't plan on taking the forgiveness. I'm gonna pay for my own. Um, I'm gonna
Um,
pay now or pay later. So really, that's
two
Sean.
things. Two
Was you
things.
in
G'day,
South Africa?
Tim.
I'm sorry.
And number two, Jonesy, I was in Australia at the time Husey was playing with the Rebel Cricket Tour. We had just left because Husey, we left in 78 and Husey was there about 81.
Rebel Cricket Tour. What is that?
So what happened was everybody put a ban on playing sports with South Africa, and Australia had a rebel team that the Australian Cricket Association stopped any official international games being played in South Africa. But Husey led a international team that was known as the Rebel team because they broke the rules. They just got on the plane and flew out there and played cricket. So that was the Rebel
Oh,
cricket team.
awesome! I love it. My kind of guy. I love that.
Well, Aussie's full of criminals, you know that.
Right. Well, that's it. It was a penal colony to begin with, right?
Correct.
Eric says he got gas at 277. Damn, brother. Where are you getting that? We're paying about a dollar more right now, about 377, 380. 2 years ago, I was paying $1.89
How, I don't understand
when
something.
the so-called orange man was.
You guys are talking about student loans. How much money was the loan in order for you to be taking, what, 20, 30 years to pay it off? That's like a friggin' mortgage.
So I'll give you an example. My oldest son went to Berkeley School of Music in Boston. His tuition was over $80,000, well over that for 2 years.
Wow.
So that's what they're doing. So here's the conundrum that's happened here in this country. So they've sold they've sold a bad apple to the youngsters and their parents, frankly, over the last 5 to 10 years in this country, telling everybody that they basically what they did is they shut down the trades, or at least the trades education, and they told everybody they need to become tech savvy. Go to college, get a degree. Go to college, go to college, go to college. So these colleges were cranking up their tuitions, and what's happening is these kids are going to college and they're paying these crazy tuitions, and some of them they're paying more money for a degree that they'll ever make annually when they get out for a job, with that degree. So 80,000 for that tuition, and for a job that you may make 35, $40,000 a year. So we've been sold a batch of bad goods here, and now people are just paying the price for it. And the only ones that are really that have benefited from it are the colleges.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, craziness. But as Hope Bus said, don't get me going, because I'll get my stump out and I'll start politicking, and I don't want to do that. That's not what we're about. We're not. This isn't a bitch channel. This is let's have fun and talk about travel and.
Jonesy makes a comment there at the bottom there. It's a bit late for me right now, but maybe for next time. When he travels to the USA, he flies to Hawaii and then gets a domestic flight to wherever. That's the cheaper way to America.
That's
Thanks
that's
for that,
probably
Jonesy.
that makes sense. Uh,
I will definitely use that for next time.
your musical mates gave you that tip, and they would know, because I mean those guys, they don't get paid a lot either, so they need to find ways to save money. That's a maybe. I suppose that would work in the reverse. So maybe if I was not if when I fly down under, I'll go to Hawaii first. Or no, I don't know if that would work. We'll
Ask
have
the
to figure
question.
that out.
Ask
Yeah,
the question. Just put in flight via.
I'll have to figure that out. Um, what's Eric saying? He says, Hope Bus, I wish I knew that I know what I know now. I would have still took out student loans, but I would have paid as I go instead of waiting years later. Yeah, and that's what's happened. Of course, the interest, you end up. Oh, so Jonesy says, yes, it does. So it works the same in reverse. I like it. There we go. I'm planning already, Sean. Get ready.
Good on you.
Hawaii is one of two states I have not been to. Alaska is the other one. The same with
You
me.
do
There's
that every other one, Nick. Seriously?
I I'm trying to think of. I haven't been to every state in the lower 48. I've been to a lot of them. I haven't been to. I haven't been to several. Believe it or not, I haven't been to California yet.
Wow.
Or, yeah, the West Coast, the actual coast, West Coast. I haven't been to any of those states. The furthest west I've been is Nevada to Las Vegas, and
Well,
just for
let me say that you guys are going to be 49 states more than me.
yeah, I was going to tell Jonesy. I opened for the Goo Goo Dolls in Las Vegas one time, just talking about
Wow.
music. So yeah, we played at the Paris Hotel back in the early 2000s, and VH1 did a end of summer concert thing, and the band I was in at the time got to be the opener for them. So that was a lot of fun. But that's how
So
I ended up.
how did it feel standing up in front of thousands of people?
Awesome. I felt like a rock star. I mean, the whole experience was great. From the flight, from landing in Las Vegas to having a limousine come and pick you up, and um, I was typical country bumpkin, I guess. They took my guitars and everything, and I was like freaking out. I'm like, you be careful with those, and they're like, look, don't worry, we're gonna take good care of you. And having a limousine pick us up, to them paying for everything, and everything being set up. I mean, when we went to go do sound check and It was a little more than sound check because it was TV. They had stand here and here's your X and all that stuff. Um, all my gear was set up. People were pampering us. It was awesome. It was real. I felt like a rock star. It was the closest I've ever been to becoming a real successful musician. So it was a lot of fun. I'm proud to say that I got, um, just looking, I just got a call for there's a vehicle fire. Um, it was the closest I've ever been to really becoming, a touring musician. A lot of fun.
Would have been.
I saw the Goo Goo
As if,
Dolls live in Miami, Eric said.
yep.
Friend gave me a free ticket. Yeah, they were really good. There was another band, so there was three bands. There was my band. There was a band called the Donnas, this all-female band, and they were really good. And then, of course, the Goo Goos. So it was a lot of fun. It was a good time in my life back then. Um, and then I've kind of slowed things down musically. I'm just kind of playing locally and just having, fun with it. I stopped writing originals and that. It's just you get to the point in your life where it's other things matter more.
Yeah.
And my creative juices are now into creating video and just traveling more. So
Now, now, Jimmy, when you play locally, is it you on your own, or are you still playing with your band?
I have a what's called it's we're a band. No drums. It's all guitars, and there's three of us. So we have a lady, a girl she's the front singer, and then her husband and myself both play guitar. And we all three of us sing. We take turns and we sing harmony, and we do country music, we do pop music, we do some rock. So we play Lady Gaga, we play the Eagles, we play Toby Keith, we do Fleetwood Mac, um, and everything in between. And it's just something that we do not every weekend. This weekend coming, we have a double header. Actually, well, we call it a double header. We're playing 2 days in a row, which is
Hmm.
rare for us. So Friday night we have a show, and then Saturday nights we have a show. So
Do you play any of your own original stuff as well?
not in this band, I don't. I used to. In some of the other bands, cover bands that was in, I'd throw in some originals, but I haven't done it with this group. I've actually just recently, computers these days don't come with a CD drive. So I bought
Mm.
a CD drive and I started to upload music from some of my original bands. So I'm actually going to post those on the YouTube channel. So people have been asking about the music and the bands that I was in when we were doing original music. So I'll start to upload some of that and then post it on the YouTube channel so people can hear it.
You know you've offended Jonesy.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, no drums. Shame, shame, shame. Right? Honestly, Jonesy, if I had my way, we'd have a drummer. But the married couple that I play with, they believe, and they're not wrong, but they believe the more egos we have in the band, the more problems we have in the band, and they are correct. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. So they just want to keep it down to the three of us. Um, if it was up to me, I would pull out my Gibson Les Paul and my Fender Strat, and I'd have a drummer and a bass player and all of that. But it's just three country bumpkins with a Martin and a Gibson acoustic guitar and a pretty girl out front singing. So that's basically what we do.
Do you know? Did you know that Gibson actually made an acoustic 12 string?
I did, yeah. I don't have a 12 string. I think we've talked about that before.
I used to
Um,
have one.
I have. I'm looking in that direction because that's where all my guitars are lined up. And I have a lot of different guitars. Most of them are electric guitars. Um, I have three acoustic guitars, but they're all 6 strings. 12 strings are they're great, but they're only you only can use them on certain songs. I mean, I suppose you could play every song with them, but it has a unique sound. It's like a harpsichord. If you're familiar with the sound of a harpsichord, a, a
Absolutely.
12 string is a similar sound to that. So, if I was playing, I don't know, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds or some other songs, or what's the famous Eagles song, Hotel California, is done on a
California.
12 string.
Yep.
There's
You can't
several
play it on
songs
a
that have,
six. It just
no,
sounds so great on a 12. You just got
would
to.
not sound the same, would it?
I miss my 12.
Hey, Lorraine, how are you? Thank you for
G'day,
coming in.
Lorraine.
How's everything going? Did you know that the Les Paul was actually designed at Epiphone? I did know that. I did know that actually. Um, well, I mean, Les Paul designed it, but then Epiphone was the first company that started to produce them, right? Um, that guy was so smart, Les Paul. If any musicians out there know who he is, you know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
The guy was a genius. Leo Fender as well. Um, he's the guy, he invented, I think it was the Telecaster first, um, right around the same time. Les Paul was the first one, though, that really made, um, he didn't make the first electric guitar, so to speak, but the first real useful electric guitar. Rickenbacker actually made back in the 20s or 30s, they had a pan, they called it a pan guitar, I believe. And that was, I think, the first electric guitar. Now, I don't want to piss off any musicians that know better, so, but I think that's what it was, Rickenbacker. So, uh, I'm sure I'm going to get some nasty messages saying you're wrong, Jimmy, and I'm not claiming to be right. It's just what I think. So,
Jonesy's got a comment there for you.
do you have any videos? Do you have any videos talking about your guitars? If not, I would watch it and hear your stories. I can do that actually. I'm a travel channel, so that's why I don't really talk about the music so much, other than in the live streams. Maybe I could do a live stream of it, and I'll pull out each guitar.
That'd
Um,
be awesome.
I I started out when I was in grade school. I think it was third grade. I was in this. I learned how to play the drums, so I played a snare drum in the school band. And right up until about middle school, I was in the marching band and the high school, or I'm sorry, the middle school bands. So the orchestra as well as the marching bands. We marched in parade, and I played the snare drum. I was a drummer. I had a one year for Christmas. My brother got a acoustic 6 string guitar, and he never played it. And I used to pick it up, and we had um, this Mel Bay guitar method book, and it was like teaching you for beginners how to play guitar. So I learned a couple chords, and I was hooked. And I've played guitar ever since. But when I got into high school, you start getting together with a bunch of other mates that play music. Everybody played guitar. So when you wanted to get together and jam, there was a drummer and like four guitar players. Nobody played the bass guitar. So I learned very quickly that I could be in bands if I was a bass player. So I picked up the bass guitar, I bought one, and I learned to play it. And I spent 30 years as a bass player until about 2006. And that's when um, I bought an acoustic. I had some 6 strings, but um, I bought an acoustic. I bought a Taylor, and then I just really started getting back to my roots and playing guitar again. Um, so I have several guitars, and some of my early ones are there. My early bass guitars I still have. I have my oldest bass that I have, I bought in 1986, I think, and I still have it. So there you
So
go. Quick
when I
story.
started out, I was also a snare drummer in the school band, um, and occasionally I want to pick up the sticks and have a bit of a snare drum, but there's a limit to how many paradiddles you can play. But anyway, my parents bought a piano because this was when I was about 12. My parents bought a piano because they figured that I might want to learn musical. And because I was playing the piano, my sister decided she wanted to play the piano. So they got her the piano and let her play it. And then she got to like it. Then my parents thought, well, okay, we'll get Sean a guitar. But what did Sean do? Sean bought his own guitar. It was an Epiphone, a
Nice.
six string, a six string Epiphone. And then my sister liked it, and she was hassling me for it and hassling me for it. So I gave her that one, and I bought a bigger one. And then a little while later, I bought a 12 string. The 12 string was the Gibson, and the 6 string was the Epiphone. And then years later, when I went through my second marriage split, the two guitars had to go with it. And so my sister gave me back the original Epiphone, which I have here today.
Very cool. Is it an acoustic, the Epiphone?
Yep. Yep.
Cool. That's that's awesome. Through the years, especially Epiphone, if you know, they're owned by Gibson now, but there was a time
Mm.
when they weren't. They were their own company, and
Yep.
those I would love to have one that was an original Epiphone. So that would be really cool to have. Um, Colleen often says, "How many guitars do you need?" And my answer is just one more, honey. That's all I need. Just one more.
Yeah,
Um,
I want to get back. I want to give my sister back the guitar I originally gave her, and I want to grab my own. But funds are what they are.
yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of friends growing up. Sean Heffernan is in the house. He's one of them that,
Okay,
growing up,
Sean.
we were all into motorbikes and that, and I spent most of my money on musical equipment when my friends were buying motorcycles and things like that and cars, and I just continued to spend the money that I made on musical instruments. So that's where my love went. Good morning, Terry. Light and Love 73 is here. How are you, my friend? Good to see
G'day.
you. I love that picture.
It is
Nice,
nice.
bright smile. Um, I would love to hear and see your guitars and stories. Every muso has a story or two. That's for darn sure. Jimmy, when you see this, please consider your song video on your community tab if you don't post it. Your voice is, oh, thank you. Yeah, Terry's heard a couple of my songs. Um, if you do go to my page, my channel, I have a playlist called My Originals and Live Performances, and there's two or three songs in there that you can hear of my music for now, but I'll definitely post more. Um, Jonesy says, way cool to hear, Sean. Opening up for the Goo Goo Dolls and Godsmack. That's right. I did. I actually toured with Godsmack for a long time. Um, so I was in a band. In fact, where's the CD? I put it back. Hold on, I'll get you that. So this band right here called Jack, if you can see that.
Yep.
We formed right around the same time that Godsmack formed, and they're from. I can never get this camera thing right. Um, they're from the same area that we're from. We're actually friends with them, and so they were up and coming, and so were we. So we decided that we would tour together, and we would open for them, and they would open for us, and we continued to probably toured with those guys for a couple of years. And we were both doing well. We were getting local airplay on the radio and getting a lot of gigs, and that was a fun time. But as I stated earlier about adding a drummer, the more egos you have in a band, the worse it can be. And in the band that I was in, there was ego issues, and that's what killed Jack. The egos killed Jack. And Godsmack, God bless him, I'm still good friends with them. In fact, the singer lives in the town that I work in. I see him all the time. And their bass player, Robbie, he used to live here in Auburn with, well, not with me, but in the same town. And he has moved down to Florida now, but they're all still good friends of mine. Um, so if you know who Godsmack is, that's my story about those guys. Uh, Paul says he actually prefers Epiphone neck to most Gibson necks. Yeah, the necks, a D neck or a C shaped neck, it all depends. Some players that play Fender, they'll prefer a maple fretboard versus an ebony fretboard. It all depends. I think it's all within the hands of the player. Jonesy says he has a Martin. I have a Martin as well, and there's some of the best made guitars on the planet. Um, what model do you have? Do you know, Jonesy? Is it a D18, a D28? I have a Road series. Mine's a newer version. It's a GPC 13E, which I got it because it's electric and it's made for a touring player. So that's why I got that one. But my next one would be a D28, which is that's like that's almost like the holy grail of Martins. So I'm sorry, I'm taking over the stream here with guitar talk. We've
I
brought
love
up
it.
we've brought up a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, and that's music. So
Yeah, I love it. I come from a musical family. My grandmother was a violinist. My On my father's side, half the family was in. Have you heard of a guy by the name of Irving Berlin?
oh yeah, oh boy, yeah, yep.
He was only a relative, but that's besides the point.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Wow, musical royalty in your family.
absolutely.
Damn, Irving Berlin. That guy wrote more songs, more famous songs. He's a musical genius, musical hero.
Yep,
Jones, who said this was a travel channel? I know I haven't done
he's
much
right.
traveling lately, have I?
Nope. Yes, you need a
Yeah,
band of brothers, not egos.
yeah. Uh, the band that I play with right now is fantastic. We all get along really well. That band I talked about that broke up, we were brothers for a long time. Um, in fact, I'm still friendly with them. The guitar player has passed away since he got cancer and died 3 years ago, so that was terrible. But the drummer and the singer both, I'm still very friendly with. But in fact, the singer, he's a lieutenant on a fire department.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's a story for another day. But when I first met him, I was on the fire department and he wasn't. And he got interested in the fire service, not because of me, but I kind of helped push him and steer him in that direction. So ego is not a dirty word.
Yeah, that was an Aussie band called Skyhooks. Um,
Okay.
a guy, they had a guy by the name of Shirley Strawn, and Shirley did a number of radio and TV shows, but he also was part of this band called Skyhooks, and there were a number of musos that made it. He did a show called what's it called? He used to have a crow as a sidekick, and he called the crow Claude. And if you look up Skyhooks or Shirley Strawn, he unfortunately died in an airplane accident.
Oh
But
no.
he had an amazing voice, and he went way too young.
Wow, that's awful.
Shirl the Curl was his nickname.
You know, someone once said that the brightest stars burn out first, and it's awful that a lot of these very talented people they die, early in
Yep,
life. It's sad.
yep.
I know that it's. Uh, I guess it's good to have known them for a short time than to never have known them at all. I guess so. There's some bands from Australia that um, I really like. Of course, Colin Hay is one of my favorite players, um, and of course the Bee Gees. They're probably one of the most famous. And we lost Olivia Newton-John recently.
Yep.
Um, but one of the bands that I think are, at least in this country, that are somewhat underrated is the Little River Band. Um,
Yeah, Little River Band is amazing.
I'm a
Um,
huge fan of them, and you know they still tour today, but they're not with the original members.
no,
There's this whole legal thing that's going on
yeah,
with them. So
Glenn Shorrock and a few others.
yeah,
I
Glenn
think Glenn
Shirk.
Shorrock was actually the lead singer, and awesome. They were a great
Yeah,
band.
yeah, they're one of my favorites. But yeah, yeah. I mean, Australia has produced a lot of really, really great musicians, and I'm sure they still will continue to do that as
Little
long as.
River is a little country town up just west of Melbourne.
Jonesy says that he's interviewed Colin Hay.
Yep.
I just missed seeing him. He played here in New Hampshire about maybe 6 months ago, and I actually didn't know about it until it was too late. It was like the day before the show, and I wasn't able to go. But he is such a talented guy and a great songwriter, and I'd love to go and see him sometime. Great player. Another story with his band. He lost some of the members in his band. Have passed on, so it's sad to see. But Keith Urban is
Maybe.
yeah. There you go, Keith Urban, another Aussie player. The guy's
Yep.
great.
I was just going to say, Jonesy, I'd like to sit down and hear about the gossip because I'm pretty sure half the gossip caused a lot of the problems.
Right? Yeah, yeah. I don't know the full story. I know that they've had a lot of legal issues, and I know that Glenn and some of the original players were going out, and they couldn't call themselves a Little River Band, but they were clearly going out and playing their music. So it's kind of sad. There was a band here in the United States called Boston, and they had some problems too with a lot of legal issues. Right after they did their first two albums, they weren't even allowed to go out and play as Boston anymore, which it took them almost 10 years to resolve the legal issues so that they could perform again as themselves. So,
By which time they were already forgotten, lost, and gone.
yeah, pretty bad. And um, then of course, the singer ended up killing himself. He uh, he put a hibachi in his bathroom and sat in the in the tub and asphyxiated himself with carbon monoxide, and he died.
That's
Sad.
no good.
Yep, sad. Um,
Now, Jimmy, I'm being your conscience for you because there's like a minute to go.
I just looked at the time. Thank you, Sean. So we're going to call it a day. I got to get ready to head out. Sean's got to go get a shot of that wonderful uh, blue scotch that he was drinking last week.
I think it's
Uh,
finished.
but thank you guys. And Jonesy, I think I'm going to take you up on that. Maybe instead of Thursday night shout out tomorrow night, I'll pull out all my guitars and I'll just show them to you guys.
Do you know
That's
what would be awesome? If while you were pulling them out, you were having a collab with Jonesy.
um, Jonesy. I don't know. It tomorrow. Well, it'll be tomorrow morning for you. Um, it'll be 6 p.m. EST. You're certainly welcome to come up on the panel, my friend. That would be great. Um, I would love that. Uh, I love the new music format show. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Colleen said I should start a channel to talk about music or the fire department, either one. But um, I'll be up tomorrow night at 6 p.m. EST. So maybe, Jonesy, you can come up and hang out with me. That would be great.
8 a.m. Melbourne time.
8 a.m. Yep. So it'll be morning for you guys. But I want to thank everybody. My live streams continue to grow as far as the number of folks in the chat, and I think that's awesome. And I thank each and every one of you guys for coming in. I know I say this every live stream, but I do love and appreciate you guys, and I mean that. Sean, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you have a lovely rest of the evening. And
I will.
as I do, oh, you'll be out. Okay, no worries, Jonesy. Maybe we'll do that another time then, but we'll see. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you guys very much. Don't forget to check each other out, check out each other's channels, and go there and watch a video. Give them a legitimate comment on the video. Watch at least 3 to 4 minutes of a video, if not longer. Leave them a legitimate comment, and if you feel so inclined, go ahead and subscribe to them. Don't forget to hit the like button for this stream today and share us out, even regardless of that we're signing off. People can go and watch the replay, so I would appreciate that. Don't forget PMA, positive mental attitude. PMA does save the day. When I say that, I'm living proof that PMA works. It really does. That's a story for another day, but trust me when I say that it does work. Positive energy outweighs negative energy every single day, and it'll keep you happy. Smile at somebody. When you smile, the world smiles with you. Shake somebody's hand. Um, give them a hug if they're so inclined. Just don't run up and hug somebody. You may get a punch in the jaw, but make somebody's day. We have a saying in the fire service: "Make a difference," and it's just smiling at somebody. Buy them a cup of coffee if you're in line at the coffee shop. Pay it forward. Do those things. Make somebody's day today. Um, don't forget the flag behind me and the flag of the country of your origin. Respect that flag. It means more than the cloth that it's printed on. A lot of people have uh, put their life and their safety on the line for that. So, and speaking of that, think about our veterans and first responders, because they're out there every day doing it so that we can do stuff like this. We can have the freedom to be safe and talk with our good friends. So think about those folks that are out there doing that. So that's going to be it. I want to wish everybody a big peace and love from deep down in my heart. Again, Sean, thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
on behalf of Sean and the Down Under Cruisers and myself, I'm Jimmy. I'm your astute tourist. We will see you all later. Peace out, guys.